Hello, READ585, and welcome to part one of this week's lectures. Wanted to go over your upcoming assignments. So this week we have 3 readings. The first is required, and the second 2 I've made optional. The required reading is Chapter 8 of the English Language Arts ELD Framework for California Public Schools, kindergarten through grade 12, which was adopted by the California State Board of Education in July 2014. It's a great, pretty comprehensive look at assessment, goes over key terms, important issues related to assessment, the purpose of assessment, gives you some suggestions for assessment cycles, and really some great information. This is a 60-page document, so I think you might, be able to peruse over some sections that aren't as relevant to you, but for assignment 2, part 3, where you're making kind of your assessment plan to monitor the intervention and the professional learning happening, you're going to be wanting to think about what assessment would look like in an ideal setting, situation, and if you are someone in a California public school, you definitely want to be familiar with this document. So that is the first reading. The second is optional, making the most of assessments to inform instruction. This is from the reading teacher, just a quick little 3-page article giving you suggestions for, basically how to get the most from your assessments. And then the second optional article is by Danielle Dennis from the Journal of Adolescent and Adult Literacy. And the author has written a number of articles that I really enjoy. This one in particular brings up some good points, and I will talk a little bit about it in the part 2 of this week's lecture in case you just don't have the time to get to this. I definitely wanted to still make it available to you, but I'm probably going to be phasing out this reading from the course because of the fact the content is a little bit dated now. It is from 2008, and it talks about AYP and Florida state testing. So, not as timely, but I still think the key point is important for us to get as we talk about assessment and data analysis in schools today. No participation activity for this week because of the fact that you have assignment 2 part 1 due. So as a reminder, these are the due dates for these 3 parts of assignment 2. Part 1 is due this week by Tuesday, September 26th. Then part 2 is due 3 weeks from now at the end of week 8. That is the SWOT analysis component. And then part 3 is really where you put everything together to make your plan. And that is due week 11, Tuesday, November 7th. So next week in our content, we'll read a sample SWOT analysis and talk a little bit more about a SWOT analysis. So that will help you with that component of the assignment, but just, keep these dates on your radar. There are 3 parts to this assignment. Part 2 is coming up, so if you want to get started, if you get done with part 1 early, and as always, check all of the resources on Titanium to help you. So part 1 is due this week. As a reminder, late assignments such as this will be reduced by 1 letter grade and cannot be submitted more than a week late. So get on top of this assignment this week. All right, those are the kind of announcements I have for you. Join me back and I will just briefly talk about the readings and assessment.